Hi, this is Ute from Cleopatra's Needle. Today we're going to show you how to get a starter kit started. Once you've opened your kit, check the contents. You will have an instruction sheet, you will have a printed canvas. In the canvas you have your needle and you will have the wool. All the wool you will find is cut in convenient lengths. Just familiarize yourself with the colors, possibly where they are going, and you're ready to go. The canvas is a cotton-based material which is starched, and due to its very nature, when you cut it, it can be quite rough on the edges. This means you can scratch yourself, it's not very pleasant, or pull your clothes, or even pull the wool. So what you can do is take some masking tape and tape it up. Place the masking tape about halfway up to on the canvas to the front. Cut it on the side and then fold it over. And you do this to all four sides. So once you're finished, your canvas should look something like that. What I do is I sort my colors in the order of the color samples on the side of the canvas and just check that I have them all there, and that looks pretty good to me. So what I do then is I want to attach a small piece of the wool to the corresponding square on the canvas. So what I do, I will thread a little bit of wool onto a needle. What I do is I take the wool into my fingers, squeeze it very hard and slide it through. Now initially you might find that a bit difficult, so there is a neat little trick which I absolutely love. That is a small piece of paper, fold it in half, take your wool through it and push that through the eye of the needle. Done. Because we only need a small piece of wool, I then come and cut about here. You don't have to be terribly precious about that. And then I push this through, make sure I keep something in the back. That was the wrong way round, sorry. Push it from the front, keep something to the, and bring it back the other way. And you can put a little knot in this so it will stay, or you don't have to do this. This is entirely up to you. So this now means everywhere I see that color, which is here and here and here and here, this will be black, and I know the corresponding color on my wool is here. So you carry on and do the whole lot. So I have finished identifying all the colors with the corresponding wool. It is all on the canvas. I have got my needle ready. I have also got a small embroidery scissors. And what I like to do is to keep my wool together in one bit. I tend to put my wool on a wool minder. That's not strictly necessary. Just make sure you don't lose any of your wool. So I have decided to start my stitching from the top, from the left to the right. I've threaded a needle with the blue, sky blue. And what I need to anchor my thread is I will need a little knot here. This will act as a waist knot, so that means we will cut this off later on. So I will start stitching here. That means I will have to anchor my waist knot to the right approximately an inch. So I go in here. Do not pull too tight. And I come out to the top right of my stitch. I go bottom left. And I go top right, bottom left, top right, bottom left. And I ensure that the thread on the back is covered by my return. So let me show you. You see this? The starting thread is covered by my stitching, and I go all the way to the end. So I've now come to the last stitch before the waist knot. As you can see here, I pull this through, and now the next stitch would encroach on the waist knot. So now is the time to cut this knot off, hence the reason waist knot, because we're wasting it. So now we pull the thread gently of the waist knot thread, put our scissors as close to the canvas as we dare, cut it off, and now you have it. Your thread is sewn in.
Okay.
And now we carry on stitching to the end of our blue colour. So now I've come to the end of the blue, and I'm just checking this is my last intersection, because the 10th stitch covers the intersection of the stitch. I go in here, and then I will return the other way. Now the other way, we're stitching this 10th stitch slightly differently. We start at bottom left and go to top right. Bottom left, top right. And we're going back. So when you get used to the stitching and the canvas and the way it feels, what you can do is you can do this stitch in basically pulling your needle through this way. So you are putting the needle in top right, coming out bottom left, and you just have to pull once per stitch. Well, you don't have to pull the thread through from the front to the back and then from the back to the front. So now you've come to the end of your thread, and we need to anchor the wool back in so it's safe. So there's two options. Option one is you bring your thread to the back of the canvas, then you bring the canvas, the thread back out underneath and pull it through. This means your thread is on the back side of the canvas, and with your next stitching in the same color, you can actually just sew it in. This, and as soon as you come to the end of your stitching, you can then just cut it off, just like you've cut off the waist knot. Alternatively, you can sew it in now. So you bring your thread back through the canvas and then turn the canvas over.
Okay.
Now you take your needle and just gently weave it into an existing piece of stitched canvas. You take your scissors and you cut it. The advantage with this method, rather than having it hanging down and overstitching, is that can look a little bit messy and a bit confusing. So with this one, you have your whole thread covered in, sewn in, and you're ready for your next thread. Now, what you can do here is, instead of having a waist knot, if you don't fancy doing that, you can at the same token weave in a little bit of wool in an existing stitching, approximately an inch, and then start stitching. Now, I hope you enjoyed this little how-to video we've put together, and you enjoy stitching your kit.